Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, guys. This is Mr. E and the rest of the Conductive Music team welcoming you to a brand new-ish project called Matt's Music Robots 4.0. We have not introduced it to you yet through our Steam Corner series, but today we've got two very special guests. You are very familiar with Miss Yui, because I'm sure you followed all of her lessons on pixel art and music making and coding, but we have a special guest tonight who's going to be designing with us, delivering and joining us throughout not only the fourth adventure of Matt's Music Robots, but she's actually been working with us for the past 6 years. So I've got the pleasure to introduce you tonight to Miss... How would you prefer to be called? You go by Hannah? Do you go by... What is your war name?
Oh, probably Mrs. Darum.
Mrs. Darum, here we go. You're live on our YouTube channel. Welcome. And what brings you here tonight?
So we're here to launch our new project, and we're here to talk about all of our memories from the past 6 years.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Yui, when did you join the Matt's Music Robots? What was your first memory of Matt's Music Robots?
First memory of Matt's Music Robots. That's the good idea. It was the school. It was in the school of Miss Durham. So I think we were doing Quirkbot.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we've got some pictures. Before we start and introduce our friend, the Quirkbot, Mrs. Darum. Would you like to share a memory or an anecdote at the start of this project? Maybe something, the first thing that you remember, or the second.
The first thing that
Yes.
I remember actually was before we started Maths Music Robots, and it was when we did the fruit piano, which then we merged into the project. And I think that was it's probably my favourite memory of working with the conductive music, because of the amount of amazing music that we got out of the kids, but also the awe in creating a fruit piano.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yui, can you describe what the fruit piano was?
Wow,
Because that was
fruit
your
piano.
first workshop as well, right? When you started working with us, that was the very first thing that you're teaching. So
Yes.
can you say in just a couple of words, what is it about?
Well, the fruit makes music. You make the music out of fruit by using some special machine and connect the cables to the fruit by following the colors.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of octogenarians that come to us and ask, are you going to make a light bulb light up with the lemon? And says, well, if it was the 1960s, yes. But because it's 2020, we've got a bit more advanced stuff. So the device that we were referring to is the Makey Makey. It looks like an NES controller from back in the day. Actually, that one was the old one from the 80s. But it allows us to use the conductivity of our body, of the crocodile clips, and a lot of other objects, such as fruit. And yes, absolutely, we can stick cables onto it. And I'm sure, Hannah, this is the moment for your favorite quote, isn't it? About
Yeah.
Go for it.
About the bananas.
The banana indeed, yes.
So we worked on this project for a long time, and then one of the children said, "Oh, Miss, I get it now. Yellow wire goes to yellow banana."
And that was the epiphany of the day. Wonderful, wonderful. So when we started the Matt's Music Robots, which by the way is thanks to the generous funding from the Shine Trust, the Havering Music Service and Rotherham Music, as well as Drapers Brookside Primary School and Infant School as well in Havering, which is a borough in East London, UK. We started with a different device, which I'm not sure if you are familiar with. It's called the Quirkbot. So I'm going to share a few pictures with you today. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. So this little fella here is got, looks like a gingerbread man. It's got the head, the 2 arms and the 2 legs. It used to be a bit temperamental back in the day, and it's become one of our favorite lighting things, moving things, sounding things. We created a lot of things with this. And perhaps, I don't know, Mrs. Darum, would you like to share a memory about the Quirkbot itself, as I show a picture of it being used in your very own school? And here we go.
So we were quite excited when these arrived at school, and we marketed the project as robots. I'm not entirely sure that the children were expecting something so little to
Yes.
come out of the box, but obviously they've got massive capabilities.
Absolutely. We were using block-based coding, as you can see on the screen. It's something like Scratch. It's its own language, and it allowed us to create lots of phenomenal projects. In particular, I have to say this is my favorite one. So this picture was from a school up in Rotherham that we've kept going back for years, really. And if you see on the desk of the kid, there is a piece of paper. So in that specific lesson, we created a game controller using nothing but paper, graphite, in other words, a pencil, because pencils are made of graphite, not made of lead, by the way, and they can conduct electricity. So we stuck some crocodile clips, wires, from the paper to the makey-makey. Actually, sorry, to the Quirkbot in this occasion. We created a little patch that transformed the touch into the controls. And believe it or not, just by touching a piece of paper, you were able to move that little character on the screen. And I wanted to share with you a few moments of this game because it's amazing. We found it on Scratch, and here it is. It's called Gravity. It's free to use. So just head on over to scratch.mit.edu and click on Gravity. It's got a fabulous soundtrack. So I'm just gonna go in full screen and play to you. I love the music. All you do is you move left and right with your arrows, and to jump, you cannot jump as high as you like to. So sometimes change the gravity, and to change the gravity you need to press the space button, and you see now it goes up. And each level, obviously, as in every self-respecting game, has increased difficulty. Those things kill you, by the way, the red stuff. This is awesome, and you can keep playing. But the real magic about this game was that we were able to create a controller out of paper and play this game with it. Now let's fast forward a little bit, and this on your screens right now is the music piano. Sorry, it's the fruit piano. As you can see, there is the controller there at the top, the crocodile clips going inside the fruit. And the same thing that you see on the board projected, this is Hannah's school, by the way, Mrs Darum's school, was here on the screen. So this student was using a potato, a banana, I think it's a carrot there, and perhaps behind there there's an apple to make some music, and that was a lot of fun. This one was published in 2018 by our very own Miss Yui. So once again, if you are curious, you want to see more about these videos and pictures, head on over to our Facebook. Again, is Conductive Music is the usual. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. But it's the moment to speak about a much bigger commitment. So this picture, and Hannah, you are now back on the big screen, is about the BET Fair. So can you tell us a bit about what happened during that conference?
So in 2019, we were invited to present a maths music robot project on the main stage at the BET Fair, which is one of the biggest technology fairs in the world. And it was brilliant to be able to share our experiences with like-minded teachers, but also people from all over the world. So we were on stage after Microsoft, which is my claim to fame, really.
That's awesome. Yes. Well, we should be instead of Microsoft next time. Bigger, faster, louder. And do you have a memory or an anecdote of that particular experience? Maybe somebody asked an interesting question, or you saw something really interesting at the fair itself?
I mean, if you want to look at anything technology based, it is the place to go, and I think it is free to get in.
It is indeed, yes.
Which is even better. I know they're not doing it at the moment because COVID, but you know, once we get back to normal, it's definitely a place that you can go. I particularly liked the Bebots stand.
Oh,
So
yes.
you guys might have seen Bebots where you're pushing forward, backwards, left, right. They had some really cool Bebot worlds at Bet.
Oh, like platforms, you mean? And then they were going around. Oh, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. So if you're into RPGs or tabletop games, probably that's a very good place to start. That's excellent, that's excellent. I was behind the scenes there as well on that fair, and it was a lot of different type of STEM, artsy, sciencey, techy, very beautiful, different types of companies as well. So indeed, this past January, the Bed Fair happened online. So there's a lot of pre-recorded material if you guys are interested in the talks, and I strongly suggest spending some time on that, because it's very useful, not just for teachers. It's for everybody to have some ideas on projects in. For a weekend perhaps or something. They're not very expensive. Not all things are very pricey. So let's take a look at this other fabulous thing. It's a concert that we did with our great artist Sherif Hashizume, and you see there's a gajillion wires on the screen, on the desk. This is once again a concert at Hannah's school, which is called Drapers Brookside in East London. And what we played, those crazy instruments that you see on the desk, are called modular synthesizers. So there's lots of wires, and every time you connect them, they give you a different result, a different type of sound. And this was a lot of fun, because I was playing drums and piano, and Sherif was playing all of those electronic sounds. So we did this because at the first iteration of our project, we were also delivering the Arts Award, which was something very interesting. In case you guys are teachers following us, the Arts Award are in 4 different levels: Explore, Discover, Bronze, Silver, and Gold. They go all the way up to GCSE levels, and they're very nice because you can combine different forms of arts and allow the kids to achieve some great results, some certifications, and ultimately, if you get all the way to Silver and Gold, even get some UCAS points, which is something obviously is quite important. Let me continue with a couple of more pictures, because, okay, this is a picture of me on the floor of Brookside creating that Christmas tree made of Duplo and Lego. And at this stage, maybe Miss Yui, do you want to jump in and describe a little bit what we were doing with Play-Doh, wires, Makey-Makeys, and Duplo?
Absolutely. We made the scratch patch to make the digital greeting card. I think that time was the digital the Christmas card, and we recorded the greeting sentences, and we decided greeting sentences with students, and lots of things combined. We painted the card, so take the picture, and so art, music, and literacy and science, all of these combined in there.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take a look, because I think we've got the scratch patch that we created with the kids. So let me just talk you through what's on the floor here. These are just normal Legos, but you see there's patches of Play-Doh. Now, because Play-Doh is made of water, flour, and some colorings, sometimes salt, but still, don't eat it, please. We put some crocodile clips inside, and as you can see, the red, the yellow, and the green ones, they go inside the Makey-Makey, and then the wires, which at the moment is disconnected on the floor, would have then gone into the computer, and then eventually control this patch. And this is how the kids were doing it. So there's a lovely picture here, one of our students. If you see the left hand, it's holding a cable, which is unfortunately a little bit hidden. That's what we call the negative part. And then with the other hand, the student was able to touch any other patches and create a fabulous effect on the screen. So let's take a look at what effect was happening. So one moment to stop the music. Here we go. And watch out, baby, lower your volume a little bit, because this one is a bit mighty. Let's see. Let's drawing. So when I press Z on my keys, the kids that we recorded, they're saying next drawing, and we have the next background. So let's try it again. Next drawing. And as you can probably imagine, it was about Christmas time, so we did a digital Christmas card.
I am making a Christmas tree.
This was a while ago. And that little green fella there, by the way, is a kappa, is a mythical creature. And Japanese, from the Japanese ancient tradition, it's also Miss Yui's favorite animal to draw, in spirit animal, I should say. There we go. And okay, we got a few. And then let me show you how this one looks on the inside, because it's quite a lot of fun. So in terms of the software that we use, when we were working with the little kids, obviously we were not doing the code with them. It's a bit too ambitious, but we prepared a patch with them, and they got to choose which sentence that we were saying. So if you see here, it says when the Z key is pressed, the next drawing shows up, and it says say next drawing. Who says that? Well, kappa is this little fella here, as you can see on the bottom right. What else happens at the same time? So there is a sound being triggered, and that one was probably on, there we go. Let me find the Z for you. Actually, it's on the screen hidden. Let's see if I can find it. Well, you know what? We've got the A available here, so this is quicker. So when the A letter is pressed, Christmas magic comes through, and the little bunny says that. It's playing a sound, Christmas magic, and it's also pointing the bunny towards the other animal. So it looks like they are talking to each other. As you can see, and as Miss Yui has anticipated, we've got a mixture of animation, coding, music, recording, and coordinates, if you wish, logical thinking, troubleshooting, all in one mini tiny lesson. And of course, depending on the age of the students you're teaching, you might want to go a little bit more or less in depth. So I think this is a good introduction to what's happened on Scratch. And just to show you that our workshops are not just for kids, we very often do teacher training. So this is at the Just North Educational Conference that happens in Leeds a couple of years ago. We did it last year as well. It was online, but you know, we hope to be back in person for the next edition. And this other machine that we have used a lot with the Key Stage 1 students is called the Touch Me. It measures how much you are squeezing it. And if you're interested in this, we have an event coming up with Playtronica. Again, it's Playtronica, which are partners in Russia mainly, but they've got home base in Berlin and in Paris. So if you're interested, once again, in a couple of weeks' time, check out our YouTube, because we're going to have an event on in live stream with Playtronica to show you how these machines work. I think it's the moment to introduce the second part of Maths Music Robots, because Yui, you're back on the main screen.
Yes.
And what about the audiobooks? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Audiobooks, yes, that was the Upper Key Stage 2 project, and we made so students create their own stories, and we record it, and we find the sound effect for those stories. So we made the audiobook on music software, connect with sound, and maybe add some effect. And yes, that was the project.
Okie dokie, so let's hear some of the work from our kids. So this is in particular from Maltby Manor, and be a lot of fun, because we're actually going back to this school in a couple of weeks to restart the fourth one. So just so you know, guys, this video is completely black because it's an audiobook, so you're not supposed to see anything, but please have a listen for just a few moments to what the kids created out of their own imagination, and with just a few hours available.
I went to the pet shop to get a cat. As I entered the pet shop, I noticed a little kitten in the back. She was so cute and fluffy, I couldn't resist.
Soon enough, a giant spider jumped in, smashing their window. I've been locked in the old workshop for days, and had just escaped the hell of the place.
There was a noise at midnight in the cellar.
As the reindeer's bells glistened in the frosted moonlight, the clown tried to kill him, but the vampire was too quick. While Mr Dundee was doing his homework, Wreck-It Ralph was smashing buildings. Spider-Man was fighting crime. I had a scary nightmare about a frightening killer clown, and I was falling out of the sky.
That is awesome, guys. That is absolutely awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. So let me just stop. Okie dokie. We are back with Mrs. Darum and Miss Yui. So would you like to add something else, perhaps, Hannah, about the project or about what's coming out? You want to give a sneak preview of what we're planning?
So I think we're looking at kind of building on the musical element that we started right at the very beginning with the fruit piano, but we're going to do this in a slightly different way using scratch and all your maths abilities. Now, I wonder if you can kind of work out what we might be trying to do with scratch.
Awesome. So that's gonna be our main vehicle, let's say. So it's good, but also talking about vehicles, we're gonna have to use a lot of trains to go up and down the country between Havering and Rotherham. So we look forward to joining you all. And before we close this, Miss Yui, do you have any final thoughts to share with our students?
Looking forward to seeing you in Rotherham and also Drapers, and we finally fill up, connect the key stage to
Wonderful. So thank you very much, Mrs. Darum, and thank you very much, Miss Yui, for the lovely contributions tonight. We're gonna head on over to the next episode, which will happen next week soon, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you very much for watching, guys. This is Mr. E from Conductive Music, and we will see you hopefully in person at your school, because if you guys are watching from Central Bedfordshire, we're actually coming to Dunstable next week in 6 different schools. So I hope you will be among those students, and see you online or in person soon. As always, stay curious. This is Mr. E and the rest of the Conductive Music team. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.